A lot of us, we are from homes where we are not taught the importance of accountability. We think accountability is a concept that we have to run into as we are getting older, or if we are facing certain types of challenges in our lives. But outside of the issue of being taught how to be responsible for yourself, I think accountability is one of those things that are on top of the list next to the responsibility that is expected from us in society and even in our families. And I think the lack thereof of information and education of how to teach us as young men and as young women to be accountable is something that has caused so many problems for a lot of us as we are interacting with other people and we're interacting with the external environment. So the premise of this video is to touch on those types of things, to have a conversation on why is accountability so important for any individual out there. And we tend to overlook accountability and think it's this minute thing. But holistically, when you look at the concept of accountability, it's what makes us who we are as individuals. Now, if I had to have a discussion with you guys and tell you why should you have accountability as an individual? Number one, accountability helps you build character. You know, your character is defined by a few things in your life. But the thing that you must understand is that how you respond to situations and how you respond to your environment also has an important role in your life. And what would that actually mean? Now, we have emotions. We've got our brains and our minds. And the way we react to situations, if we haven't learned how to manage our emotions correctly, it tends to affect us in the long run. We tend to be very reactive people. We tend to be people who jump into conclusions easily. We tend to create a lot of conflict in our lives. So now, if you've learned how to manage yourself and taught yourself how to be an accountable individual, you don't become easily reactive. You listen before you speak. You don't listen to respond. You don't react to situations without first processing the context of what's happening around you. This is why people find themselves in a lot of tricky situations. Now, your character helps you with that. When you've built a good character in understanding who you are and what is your placement in your life and how you deal with different types of things like conflict and especially the second part of conflict resolution, that helps way more than we realize with our character. So for a person who has good character, you in every mistake you see and in every mistake that you do, it becomes an opportunity for you to become better because you see where you went wrong. You take the time to process the conversations and the interactions that you are having with everyone around you, and you learn how to apologize sincerely. You learn how to take responsibility for your behavior. You understand how big responsibility is. It's not only the responsibility of owning things and having properties and materialistic things. You have a duty and a responsibility to yourself and everyone you interact with so that your personality and your emotions do not affect people negatively. So there's a lot of things that come with this video as I'm making it. And I'm explaining to a lot of you that accountability is a bigger concept than a lot of us want to realize. And if we take the process of admitting the wrongs that we've done to people, and we don't have this ego complex of believing that because we are intelligent then it automatically makes us to be correct in every way, or because if you're a lady you are beautiful and you can't do anything wrong, then you have a long way to go. So the importance of accountability is helping you develop a good character because you're able to self-reflect. You're able to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, Mpo, when you interact with people, are you a pleasant person to speak to? Do you handle disagreements the right way? Do you handle the interactions that you have with everyone in the correct way? Do you see how broad of a concept this thing really is? Now let's move on to number 2. Accountability builds trust. What would that mean? If you're an accountable person, you learn how to keep your promises. You don't just make things up just to appease people or to get an outcome. You know that there is a responsibility in you accepting certain types of choices and decisions, or promising people that you're going to do certain things for them. And your reputation becomes important. You understand how accountability is. Accountability is so important that you understand that if you are not a person who is honest, it's going to affect your reputation, and your reputation makes you who you are, and you want to be respected and be acknowledged for your talents and gifts, and then you try to move accordingly and not step on people's toes and unwarranted. So it's really vital for a lot of us to understand that part, that when you're an accountable person, you are the type of individual where people are able to trust you with a lot of things. People are able to trust you with resources. People are able to trust you with big things in their life because they know that you are a responsible individual. When you take things, you take them with responsibility, not with a selfish intent. When you get into people's spaces, you see that you're not supposed to be damaging and littering people's spaces because you're an accountable person. You try to do right even when people are not looking. So accountability makes people feel that you're a reliable person, and that they can be safe around you. They can be protected around you. There's no point in time where you will manipulate anyone if you're an accountable person. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, accountability leads to personal growth. And these things are the types of questions that even you who's watching this video, you must ask yourself. Well, the first part is this: when it comes to personal growth, when you start becoming an accountable person, you stop trying to put the blame on others. You place the blame upon yourself, meaning that you take responsibility for your life. You take responsibility for your decisions. You take responsibility for your actions. And you ask yourself in every interaction or even disagreement that you have with people, you ask yourself, where did I contribute for this conversation to go the wrong way? And if there's a place and point in time, you are able to become sincere and go and apologize. If you cannot apologize, you change your ways. Now, and the reason why accountability is so important, because it speaks to our successes, and it opens higher levels of success for us. What would that mean for you looking at this video? You start asking these types of questions to yourself when you become an accountable person. You ask yourself, what did I do well in this particular thing that I was trying to achieve, the outcome I was trying to get? You ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Where can I become better? What type of things can I fix in that environment so that I don't repeat the same mistakes, so that I can have higher yieldings, I can have better results in terms of whatever that I'm trying to pursue? What lesson can be learned in this whole process? How can you improve? You see, accountability is bigger than just the word responsibility. You ask yourself, where can you improve? It doesn't mean if you are intelligent or whatever the case that you might believe in, is that it doesn't mean that you can't learn anything new about yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't grow from what the available gifts have been provided for you, or the level of intelligence that you've acquired over time. That you can't know everything. So there's spaces where you need to ask yourself, what can I do better? Because this mindset creates a continuous improvement for your life. You become a better individual. You walk differently into all types of spaces. So you understand how big of a concept accountability really is. Accountability develops emotional maturity. How would that look? You don't let situations become toxic. You try to prevent them from happening in the first place. You try to avoid conflict as much as you can. And you try to put yourself in better positions instead of being in toxic spaces or having unnecessary conversations. Emotionally mature people don't prevent themselves from admitting from their mistakes. The biggest part of this is admittance, accepting that you are wrong. And that's something that a lot of us struggle with. We are unable to sit with ourselves and look at ourselves and say, Mpoye, you were wrong. You were supposed to do better in this situation. Instead of reacting in anger, and a lot of you tend to be very defensive when you're wrong, instead of taking responsibility and you sit and listen. Remember what I said earlier? A lot of you listen to respond. You don't sit and listen and reflect on another person's point of view. You want to talk about over them, and you do all these things. And when you are able to outgrow those types of behaviors, you are able to make better decisions. You are able to have better interactions with people. Because all of this stems from you controlling your emotions instead of allowing your emotions to dictate your reactions. So it's really vital for you to also understand those types of things. We move on to the next part. Accountability strengthens relationships. Many relationships fail because people tend not to want to take responsibility for their actions. A lot of you don't want to take responsibility for your behaviors, the words that you say to people, the way you treat people. A lot of you are narcissists. You believe that you are right. You believe just because you're a woman, you can't be wrong. If you're a man, you have this duty and power over women. That's why your relationships fail. That's why everything around you collapses. That's why people don't want to spend time with you. Healthy relationships involve the following, and this is something that a lot of you can understand. I was wrong. Just admitting that I was wrong. I sincerely apologize, explaining what you are specifically wrong for. I was wrong because I made you feel this way. I was not supposed to speak in this tone. A lot of you fail to do that. And those things make people become acknowledged to say, yo, okay, he can see what he did to me. Let me try and rectify or meet him halfway so that we can make the situation more conducive for everyone. A lot of marriages and relationships could have been saved. And even friendships or families even could have been saved if only people were trying to take accountability and responsibility for their behaviors. Just merely apologizing and saying, I'm sorry. That's a difficult word for a lot of you to say. I'm sorry. Saying that I understand how I hurt you. No, I'll do better. You see that? I will do better. And you're not just making an empty promise. They can see through your actions that you are trying to become better. The simple way that words can destroy, words can repair everything overnight. It is how you articulate yourself and seeing the error of your ways that everything can be repaired by just a few simple words. And a lot of you cannot do that. Let's move on. Accountability develops self-discipline. If you're an accountable person, you continuously remind yourself, I am not doing this today. I need to be pushing. I need to be doing this. We are becoming lazy. Why are you not achieving other things? You're not blaming the government, the society, and the lack of resources. No. You are saying to yourself, what am I not doing to get myself to these positions that I want to get myself into? You don't point fingers to anyone. You point the finger at yourself. That's what accountability does. No. It creates self-discipline on that level. We're moving on. Accountability makes better leader. It makes better leaders. You see, when you start learning accountability, you become a better leader. You are able to draw the line in the sand. You are able to look at yourself where you're going wrong. Are you leading people properly? Are your employees dealing with each other correctly? Or are the people that are following you listening to you actively and following your lead? And the thing that you must understand by being an accountable person, you lead by example always. You try to be the better person in every situation. And that, it's part of the premise of you becoming a better leader. Leadership on its own requires high levels of accountability. Same as the man. You want to be a man who has all of these resources, but you are unable to lead your family correctly because you lack accountability. You want to do as you please just because you're paying bills and all of these things. Even you ladies, you suffer from the same thing. Just because you're independent, you believe no man can tell you anything, but you still want to have a progressive relationship with a person. You understand what that thing is. We become better people by just taking the initiative of wanting to be accountable. Learning that your actions and behaviors affect everyone around you. We're going to move on. Accountability improves decision making, and that for itself, it explains itself. Oh, you are more responsible of your outcomes. Oh, the more you think carefully before doing things, you tend to be more wiser by just looking around, that you think of the downside of everything that you do, of how it's going to affect you in the long run. You're not just making decisions based on your feelings or whatever is convenient at the time. You look at the long-term effects of every little thing that you do in your life. Now we're going to move to the last two parts of these things. Accountability produces confidence. How would that be? When you are so reassured in your stem as a person, your template as a person, meaning that you know that you are doing the right thing, nothing can sway you. You are not overthinking that what are other people going to perceive about you. You are doing things from a good place. You're doing good things from passion. You're doing things from drive. You're doing things from what's inside you. You're not pretending to be anything. Oh, you're not trying to make people buy into anything. You're just becoming your authentic self. And authenticity mixed with accountability grows us to become better. Oh, because you keep promises to yourself, number one. Every time you follow through on your own decisions and commitments, you can prove that you can rely on yourself. You prove that to yourself that you are capable of doing certain things. Oh, so it's really important for a lot of you to understand that part. And lastly, accountability brings peace of mind, guys. You know, sometimes when you don't have to worry about how things are going to come back and fall back on you, it gives you a peace of mind. You're living honestly removes a lot of burden and anxiety from your life. Live an honest life. Sleep like a baby at night. There's no hidden truths. There's no accountability. Allows you to live a life with integrity and a clear conscience. You know that nobody's going to come knocking at night looking for your name and say you owe them something because you do things the right way. Oh. So for the last part of this is that I'm just going to say the practical ways to become more accountable. Admit your mistakes quickly. And this is very important. Admit your mistakes quickly. Stop blaming others for your setbacks. Blame yourself. Blame that you didn't put your best foot forward, or sometimes just accept it that it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Keep your promises, even the small ones. Never break your promises. Be a person of honor. Accept constructive criticism without becoming defensive. Criticism is what helps us grow. It makes us better human beings. Learn from every failure instead of repeating it. Wow. Learn from your failures, guys. Don't repeat cycles and all these things. Wow. Set clear goals and regular measures for your progress. Have a plan for yourself. Have a plan for the things that you want to do. Ask yourself every day, what is it that I'm not doing to get to where I need to go to? The doors that I'm trying to open them up. If I'm becoming lazy today, am I going to get to where I need to go to? If the answer is no, you got to push yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Apply yourself. Oh. Reflect on your day and ask, what could I have done better today? Ask yourself that question. What could I have done better today? Lastly, surround yourself with people who challenge you to improve. Don't surround yourself with losers, guys. Don't surround yourselves with people who are not hungry for life. Be honest with yourselves. Pursue life. Pursue purpose. Oh, a powerful mindset that you can have is understanding that don't pity yourself. Stop saying things like life isn't fair, they made me do it, or all these things. It's taking accountability to say, I put myself in these situations, and the only way I'm going to get out of these situations is not moving in the same way that I've been moving for a very long time. Oh, now my final thought in all of this is this. Accountability is not about being perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's never about being perfect. It's about being honest, taking acknowledgement of your shortcomings, taking acknowledgement and being humble enough to say to yourself that I am not perfect and sometimes I make mistakes. But the most important part of all of that is that you create discipline enough to improve yourself every day. That's the most important thing. The more accountable you become, the more trustworthy you become, the more resilient, disciplined, respected you will be, because you do things the right way. You don't cheat anyone. You're not taking shortcuts. Over time, these qualities shape not only your success, but also shape the type of person you are. I hope this video was educational. I hope this video has helped somebody out there. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments.